Yo, what's up? It's another beautiful day. October. This is my second review for horror films. I'm going again with a classic that I've never seen. Might surprise you. But, as much as I like Nicolas Cage, the Wicker Man that he was in was horrible. That movie was truly, top 10 worst movies I've ever watched, probably. So, being that I saw that before I watched this other one, the OG Wicker Man, I never watched the first one because I was like, wow, I was so put off by the Nicolas Cage one that I just didn't have an interest in the story anymore. Now, that's a shame because this is a far superior movie. The color schemes are intense. The religious themes are intense. The like the religious element, I don't recall playing all that big of a role in the Nicolas Cage film, which is strange because that drives this entire narrative, and it wouldn't be an effective movie without it, which is perhaps why the Nicolas Cage version was an ineffective film, because it just didn't have anything driving it. The crazy religious aspect of this movie is what pushed the story to where ultimately it ended up in a creepy place. And as strange as it is that it's ultimately the same place, somehow they were able to work it. And I think it's because of the fervent faith that the Edward Woodward's character had. He was very strong in this film. He was the police officer, and his faith was nigh unshakable. Until the very last moments, he was still praising God, believing in the power of Christ, and he was believable. I think he was probably the strongest part of the movie, aside from maybe the cinematography, the color. It was clearly done on like a shoestring of a budget, I would say, but impressive anyhow. The people touching the cameras knew what they were doing, which is, quite frankly, is awesome, because it just lends something to a movie when the shots are well done. That being said, worst part of this movie, I'm gonna say Christopher Lee. And that's kind of weird because Christopher Lee is a legend, and I do enjoy his work, so I'm not trying to downplay what he does. But he overacted in this movie. That was his character, so I understand. Now, that's another thing. I might be off in my estimation because cult leaders tend to actually have that creepy type of a thing. A creepy way of keeping people... What are you yawning about, crazy? Cult leaders have a way of keeping people in their place, ostensibly through being charismatic. But my problem with that is I've never seen any of these leaders as charismatic. When you see footage of them or film of them, I've never understood, right down to like Hitler. Like, I've never understood when you see speeches of Hitler and he's like, and it just sounds psychotic. And I would certainly never follow a raving madman. So when I see some of these cult leaders like a Jim Jones or something, I'm like, what about him was charming people to a place where they were fooled by him? But many people were fooled by him. So I'm obviously not the best arbiter of, you know, deciding what what isn't charismatic, because these people seem to lead multiple, sometimes thousands of people to their doom, and obviously something is charismatic about those people. I can't see it, maybe because I'm not a charismatic person, or I just have some kind of inability to tell. But it seems to me, for the most part, when I see a cult-like leader similar to Christopher Lee in this film, it's hard for me to understand how people would follow someone like that. His hair looked ridiculous. His bombastic ways were ridiculous. His nonsensical ideas were ridiculous. And so it's hard to understand how people could follow him. So that was the part of the movie that I had to suspend my disbelief and just follow the film. Some things that I saw other people had complained about were the accents weren't Scottish, although they were on like a Scottish Isle. But that was clearly kind of explained by the fact that they had come there from Britain. So I don't know what's wrong with people. Pay attention to the movie, and then you won't have weird questions about it. Or if you do, we can talk about it in the comments. Have a good night. Oh, don't have a good night yet. What am I going to rate the Wicker Man? If I was to rate the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man, I'd probably give it a 4. The movie sucked. Balls. This Wicker Man, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I don't think it's quite as good as what I've heard. Like I said, it was new to me, but it was considerably better. It was twice as good as the Nicolas Cage one, so it's certainly worth a watch if you've never seen this movie. If you're religious, if you're Christian, I don't know, you may have some kind of problems with it, I guess. If you're an animal rights activist, you may have some kind of problems with it. But it's a watchable film. You could probably turn the sound off and just watch it for the colors and the dancing, but it's got some good songs in it too. Don't get absorbed into the cult.